everyone. This is Colleen Lemma, Starseed Astrologer and Spiritual Messenger from SacredSoulEmpowerment.com. Here to do your monthly angel card reading for May 2017. I can't believe we're already going into the month of May. So for this monthly reading, we're going to be using, for the main message, Doreen Virtue's Angel Tarot deck. And your special message card this month is going to be coming from the Past Life Oracle deck, which is by Doreen Virtue as well as Brian Weiss. So for this month, we're going to take a look at the stones of choice first for that special message card before we get into the astrology and numerology of the month. So your first stone of choice, and these are all brand new stones that I purchased very recently at one of the metaphysical stores here in my area. Very beautiful stones. This one is called Red Line Jasper. And the red line jasper helps to assist in rectifying unjust circumstances. It helps to provide a sense of rescue energy in situations that are challenging. It helps to prevent setbacks. And it also is very good in facilitating dreams. Your second stone of choice. This is a very beautiful, deep, dark blue piece of sodalite. I don't think I've ever seen a piece of sodalite that's so dark and vibrant. This has got a water kind of feeling to it because of that dark blue. So it relates to energies of being receptive and allowing, that divine feminine flowing emotional energy. It's actually very good at emotional healing and helps with healing stress or nervousness or anger, frustration, and fear. This is also very good for meditation on the aspect of higher wisdom. And then your last stone of choice. This is called clamshell jasper. I think I had a smaller version of clamshell jasper in one of the weekly readings in the last few weeks, but this is a larger piece of it. And this is a very powerful protective stone against things that are not good for you, that are no longer beneficial or good for you. It helps to ease emotional stresses in your life and bring a sense of relaxation, well-being, and serenity. So again, your stones of choice for special message card this month are the red line jasper, the sodalite, and the clamshell jasper. Okay, so let's talk about the energies for the month of May. May's numerological vibration is actually a 15, which reduces down to a 6. And we get that by taking the universal year energy of 2017. When we add 2 plus 0 plus 1 plus 7, we get that 10. So remember, we're in that 10 or 1, when we reduce it down, energy for the collective, for the year, which is again all about these new beginnings and new opportunities and a new birth. That's really what it's felt like so far, is a new birth. And if you think about a woman giving birth, and I've given this analogy before, it can be stressful and it can be challenging as she gives that birth to that new life. And that's kind of the energy that we've been feeling, at least in the first few months of the year here. So we take that universal 1 energy, that 10 energy, let's say, because 2017 does in fact add up to a 10. We add it to the month of May to get the universal vibration for the month. And May is the 5th month. So if we add 10 plus 5, that's where we get the 15. Now, in numerology, we often reduce things down to a single digit. So if we add that 1 plus the 5 together, we get the number 6. 15 is not a karmic number like the last 2 months, when we had a 13-month in March and then we had a 14-month in April. Those 2 numbers are karmic. So we did look at the reduced vibration as well as the double-digit vibration. But the number 15 is not a karmic vibration, although I will bring up what tarot card it vibrates to here in just a moment. But if we look at that lower vibrational energy of the 6, the number 6, if you think about the shape of the number 6, we think about an upward pointing triangle intersected with a downward pointing triangle, which makes a 6-pointed Star of David. And it has that feeling of as above, so below. As it is in the heavens or in the other dimensions, in the higher dimensions, so it is down here at Earth. What does that mean? That means, you know, what we put out, what we think about, what we visualize is what we're going to manifest here on Earth. And so it has that law of cause and effect and that idea of manifesting your thoughts into reality kind of feeling to it. The number 6 is also about home, family, and the emotions. It very much reminds me of the sign of Cancer in the zodiac. So it's that very homey, sensitive, emotional ruler of home and family and nurturing and compassion and healing and guidance and just love. And so it has that flavor to it for this month of May as well, so that there might be situations regarding home and family, situations regarding our emotions, our feelings, the emotional body that need healing or that we're going to be experiencing. Now, it also, I've found, oftentimes deals with success and recognition on the business path too. And I think it has to do with that as above, so below, or the balance of that upward triangle and that downward pointing triangle intersected together. It kind of reminds me of balancing the masculine and the feminine, or balancing your career life with your home life. And that's why I think it oftentimes shows success in career, because we're juggling and we're balancing all these different aspects in our life. And again, the personal aspects of life with our home and family, and the outer realm of who we are and what we're here to do on the career path and with our life path and with our destiny path. And so oftentimes it brings us this sense of, again, success and recognition, or there is some sort of positive movement in the career path or destiny path that can take place with that 6 vibration. Now, if we look at the double digit, even though it's not a karmic number, I always like to look at what tarot card it relates to, because that's going to be giving us additional information for what the month is going to be about. And this is from the Sirian Starseed Tarot deck by Patricia Corey and Alyssa Bartha. And the 15th Major Arcana in this deck is called the Shadow. Now, in the traditional tarot deck, it's actually called the Devil card, and that's one of the reasons why I chose this deck, because it has that a little bit less fearful, if you will, kind of way to explain it. Because really all the Devil card is, and again in this deck it's called the Shadow, it is about the shadow aspects of ourselves. It's about the ego fears, the ego doubts, the ego illusions that we carry within us. And if you look very closely at the symbology here, we have a spider web, and we have 2 shadow figures here, almost looking like a man and a woman if you look very closely, but they're only again presented as shadow, and they're in front again of this spider web. If you look at that and you think about the symbology, we could say that we weave our own web of destiny, and oftentimes we feel like we get caught in the web of illusion. The web of illusion, again, is the ego mind, the fears of the ego mind, and we all have them. We all have them, but this month we're going to be focused on perhaps clearing them, observing them, understanding what they are and where they came from, so that they can be healed and released. Now, again, the shadow, sometimes with this symbology, again, it seems like that fearful, scary part of ourselves, but this is just a side of us that is scared, alone, afraid, doubtful, worried, you know, etc., etc. So again, we have to love that side of us, love that side, accept that side, integrate that side of us, heal that side of us. And then again, if you look closely, you can look at this in 2 different ways. Here in the background, I don't know if it shows up in the video very well, but this is actually the universe back here around this spider web. And we could say that we are being backed by the universe, that beyond the shadow, beyond that ego mind stuff, is the spiritual self, is our soul self, our true self, which is connected to universe, source, God energies. And if we look at it from this aspect of the spider web, even though that's a spider web, look at it, it's starting to glow. There's a light that's trying to shine through and peek through that spider web. And that's what's going to help to heal the shadow side, is the light of God, or the light of the universe. You know, bringing that truth of who you really are, which is light. You are light and you are love. That's going to help to peek through and push through this spider web of illusion to help to heal all those different shadow aspects that might be coming up in this month of May. So let's go ahead and talk about the astrology for the month of May. There doesn't seem to be a whole lot going on, but what is going on is very significant. We start out on the 3rd of May with Mercury turning to direct motion at 24 degrees of Aries. So we can say a big yay, hallelujah, you know, hurrah to this happening. Mercury goes retrograde quite a bit, but when it does, it just gives us this little, you know, these little frustrations and these little time periods that kind of feel like we're struggling against the tide, or that things aren't really unfolding very neatly and cleanly. So now Mercury is going direct. Mercury rules the mental realm. It rules our mind. So again, that's what the shadow side is all about. It's about that ego mind. It's the scary thoughts, the doubtful and fearful thoughts that our mental mind is kind of creating, which is the shadow of illusion. So now Mercury is going to direct motion. It's in the sign of Aries, the first sign of the zodiac. Aries is a fire sign. It's about inspiration. It's about new beginnings. It's about that fiery creative nature within us. So now our mental realm can kind of start to slowly, as it starts to slowly speed up in its movement, start to slowly clear up, start to slowly clear out, if you will, some of these fears and doubts and the illusions. Now, the 9th, 10th, and 11th seem to be very important, because actually on the 10th we have a full moon in Scorpio. And Scorpio is that sign of the zodiac that rules the subconscious mind. It rules the shadow self again. So here on the 9th, right before the full moon in Scorpio, the sun, it actually connects with Pluto. And Pluto is the natural ruler of Scorpio. Pluto is the modern rulership of that sign of Scorpio. Now the sun is connecting to Pluto in a positive way, which is going to be very empowering. It feels very empowering in a sense on the 9th, right before the full moon. Also on the 9th, maybe one of the most important things this month is that the North Node and the South Node are finally changing signs. Every 18 months, or about a year and a half, the nodes move from one pair of signs to the next. And they move in a backward fashion, sort of like how we think of a retrograde motion. When Mercury goes retrograde, it's, you know, from our perspective, moving backwards. The North Node and the South Node, that's their natural movement, is to move back through the signs. And so over the last year and a half, the North and South Node were in Virgo and Pisces, which is kind of a difficult placement, a difficult or challenging polarity, because Virgo does rule the mental realm, and it rules sometimes those self-critical, perfectionistic types of thought processes of the mental realm. It also rules mental healing. And then Pisces, the opposite sign, rules spiritual healing. Pisces is the ruler of the spiritual realm, but it's not about tangible things or things that we can readily see. It's not about form. It's about things that are malleable, things that are hard to grasp or you know, see or understand with our physical eyes. And so as the North and South Node went through that sign polarity of Virgo and Pisces, it was a little bit difficult. There was, you know, Chiron is in Pisces as well, so you kind of have that flavor of, again, this spiritual healing, this past life wound healing, this, you know, healing of our thoughts, healing of the criticisms and the judgments that we place upon ourselves, and trying to focus more on the positive details of life and moving forward with those positive details of life, which is a Virgo thing. Virgo is very good at using discernment and paying attention to the details and getting things done. And so it was about trying to focus on that positive movement. Now the North Node and South Node are going to move into Leo and Aquarius, with the North Node being our destiny and where we're moving towards, going into Leo, and the South Node, which was more about our past lives, you know, our past gifts and talents, that is moving into Aquarius. So now we have this polarity of Leo and Aquarius going on, which is fire and air, as opposed to Virgo being earth and Pisces being water. So it's almost a little bit more inspirational, as Leo being the sign that the North Node is moving in and where we're moving towards. Leo is about leadership and creative self-expression and shining our light and being confident and courageous as we move forward. Sometimes Leo can get into the ego a little bit too much or be a little bit overly dramatic, but if we can focus on those positive qualities, again, of leadership and confidence and moving forward with our creative abilities and our creative gifts, this is where we're going to be going for the next year and a half. Now the South Node going into Aquarius. This is bringing up past life, gifts, abilities, talents, situations from previous lifetimes to where there's a group consciousness. Aquarius is about group consciousness. It's about a humanitarian ideal, working together for the collective. And that's truly what we've been working towards, as light workers for quite some time. But now we're going to have the support of this North Node and South Node axis of Leo and Aquarius happening for the next 18 or so months. Now that all happens, that nodal shift and the sun in a positive connection to Pluto, empowering us and transforming us, happens right before the full moon at 20 degrees of Scorpio on the 10th of May. Also on the 10th of May, and it happens just before the full moon, is Mercury coming together with Uranus. Now, remember, Uranus is about the unexpected. Expect the unexpected. It's about enlightenment. It's about surprises. It's about freedom. And Mercury, again, is the mental realm. So there might be messages that surprise us, messages that come in, messages of inspiration from universe or God. It could be messages and unexpected communications from other people, maybe people that we haven't seen or talked to for a while. But again, we have this full moon in Scorpio, so again, it's bringing up the shadow, okay? It's bringing up the shadow side of us and needing to heal those things on the subconscious realm, as Scorpio rules, again, the subconscious. And we have all these subconscious patterns that we grew up with in our family of origin, but also from previous lifetimes. Scorpio deals with power, empowerment, and disempowerment. So again, some of those themes might be brought up as well. And then on the 11th, the day after the full moon, Mars is in a challenging aspect to Neptune. And when Mars is in a challenging aspect to Neptune, weird, strange things can happen. Let's just put it that way. First of all, our physical energy might feel a little bit drained or down, because Mars rules our physical vitality, and Neptune kind of usurps that energy because it's all about the spiritual realm for Neptune, whereas Mars is all about the physical realm. So we might feel a little bit more tired, but also again, Mars rules action and forward movement of energies. And with this challenge to Neptune, again, some stranger, interesting things can happen. So I'm just going to leave it at that, and we'll see how that unfolds. Now, there's other things that are occurring here this month, but I'm going to skip to the 16th, and that's when Mercury goes into Taurus. Now, Mercury was in Taurus when it first went retrograde. It was at 4 degrees Taurus when it went retrograde. So now here on the 16th of May, it goes into 0 degrees of Taurus. So it's almost past that shadow period of Mercury, which is what we call it. Almost past that point where it first went retrograde. So within a few days from the 16th, it's like clear sailing until the next Mercury retrograde starts to settle in. All right, now Mercury, again, being about our thoughts, our ideas, our communications in Taurus, it's much more grounded. It's much more practical. It's Taurus energy is earth energy. And so it can be slower, but it's also, again, that more grounded, sensible approach kind of energy. Taurus also rules money and finances, so we might think about communications or ideas that are regarding our monetary status, and what we can do to kind of increase that, if you will. Okay, and then we go to the 19th of May. The 19th of May is the second Saturn trine Uranus. Okay, the first Saturn trine Uranus was in December 2016. The second one this month of May. The last time Saturn and Uranus connect positively in this trine aspect with one another is going to be November of this year, 2017. Now Saturn is about the old way and Uranus is about the new way. So there's kind of this bridging that's happening. It's a bridging between the old and the new, a bridging between the patriarchal system of society, which is Saturn, and this new, higher, wisdom-oriented spiritual way of operating on a collective level, on a worldly level. And again, we're in the middle time period here. It's like this whole year of Saturn and Uranus doing this dance to try to, in this year of new beginnings and new birth, try to settle us into a newer and a higher energy way of operating on this planet. On the 20th, the sun moves into Gemini, so then we have the next 30 days of Gemini energy, which is very mental realm, communication, ideas, speaking, writing, teaching, and kind of this flitty social fairy realm kind of energy going on. The 25th, we have a new moon in Gemini at 4 degrees Gemini. So you early degrees Geminis, this is your new moon. Also on the 25th, we have Venus squaring Pluto. There's 3 Pluto things happening this month. We already talked about the sun trining Pluto. On the 25th, we have Venus squaring Pluto, which is more of a challenging aspect, dealing with disempowerment in relationships or disempowerment with our ideas and belief systems regarding money. So there's this little bit of a power struggle here as we're transforming ourselves to a new and better way. And then on the last day of the month, the 31st, we have Mercury trining Pluto. Mercury is, again, that mental realm, ideas, communication, our thoughts. It's in a positive connection to Pluto. So again, there's this sense of empowering our way of thinking, our way of communicating, our ideas that we have in regards to ourselves, our lives, and our destiny paths. Also, to make mention, well, not all month, but the first half of May especially, we're still experiencing that Saturn square Chiron that was very prominent in April. It's starting to pull away, so it's less intense, but it's still within orb of one another, especially the first 2 weeks of May. Saturn, which is, again, the great teacher of lessons. Chiron, which is the wounded healer, bringing up stuff from the past so that we can learn what we need to learn from it and release and heal and let go of what we need to release and heal and let go. That a lot of that is coming from past lives, which is why I chose the past life deck for our special message card this month. So now we have to hurry and get to the messages from the Angel Tarot deck before we get to the special message card. So our first card, and I meditated and drew these cards earlier, this is the 8 of Air. So again, very mental realm, dealing with the shadow side. Remember, the shadow side is the ego mind. So this fits in perfectly. The message at the bottom says, an illusion of being trapped, a lack of self-confidence, and afraid to take action. The number 8 is about empowerment or feeling disempowered. It's also about money, career, finances, things of an earthly nature. So if we see the symbology, the unicorn is breaking free of the pack back here. So again, it's about breaking free of disempowering energies of the ego mind, of our way of thinking, breaking free and moving forward with a sense of confidence, which is the number 8, feeling more confident as we move forward. Let's go ahead and take a look at the second card. And remember how I said the shadow is just an illusion, okay? This started out by saying an illusion of being trapped, okay? So we're not really trapped. Our mind, our ego thinks we're trapped, but we're not really trapped. The second card, okay, we have another air suit card. We have the King of Air. So this is like the King of Swords. So we're still in that mental realm here with this card being the air or the sword suit as well. It says brilliant, impartial, professional, diplomatic. Speak your mind with confidence. Seek out professional advice. Balance mental and emotional considerations. So I feel like this is us being the king. We're taking charge of our thoughts. We're taking charge of how we communicate in our own head. We're being more confident. We're speaking our truth. This is the energies of the King of Swords or the King of Air that we're emulating, I believe. This could bring in other people as well. The court cards can be about other people coming into our lives. So this could be about someone who is a professional, someone who is very intellectual, professional, thought-provoking, probably masculine energy in nature that's coming in to assist or help us in some way this month with us moving forward. But I feel like, again, this is mostly energies that we're embodying this month. And then the last card for the month. Okay, interesting. We have another air card. So all the cards were the air suit, which is the swords, the mental realm. This is the Queen of Air. So this is the feminine counterpart to the King of Air. Okay, but even the Queen of Air still has a little bit of a masculine energy to her because, again, it's the mental realm. This says independent, experienced, realistic, and witty, objective decision-making, clearing away all that no longer serves you and seeing the humor in a situation. You can see her looking into a crystal ball and seeing with clarity what the truth of the matter is, what the truth of her life is, what the truth of the next step for her is. She's clearing away, just as it says, all those mental ego, fears, doubts, and the illusions that no longer serve her best and highest interest. Again, this could be a strong woman coming into play in your life in some way in the month of May. So there could be people involved here between the King of Air and the Queen of Air. This could be bringing other people to our assistance in some way to help us to maybe clear these energies and look at things from a bigger and brighter perspective and to not get caught in that web of illusion and doubt. So let's take a look at your special message card depending on your stone of choice. For those of you that chose that red line jasper, so your special message, red line jasper, karmic relationship. So it seems that this month of May you're dealing with some sort of karmic relationship. Maybe this is a matter that has already ended, but you're still needing to heal and release and let go some of the energy cords to it, or the fears, or the karmic patterns that are attached to it. Maybe you're still in some sort of a karmic relationship, or maybe you're about to meet someone who is a very karmic soulmate for you. But nonetheless, there's something about relationship patterns that take the forefront here for you in the month of May. Remember, this is about clearing away old patterns, old doubts, old fears that you're hanging on to. So even if this is a new relationship, and it could be a good relationship, don't replay those old karmic patterns with it. The person or the people that chose the sodalite, let's go ahead and pick the energy for sodalite. Lessons and blessings. So again, we're dealing with old past life karmic patterns, lessons. Now the thing here, the message here is to look for the blessing in the lesson. Don't look at it as just a total challenge and just something that's difficult and hard to go through and oh whoa, the lessons. You know, this is really past life stuff here. We have this kind of time clock in the background. So this is really within the past lives of where you've come from, these old karmic lessons again. Now look for the blessing. What strengths did it give you? What gifts did it give you? What positive things did you learn from going through these lessons? You have to focus on the blessings now. Clear away the lesson part and move into the blessing part. That's where we need to go. And then for those of you that chose the clamshell jasper, okay, this one's sticking out. Clamshell jasper, interesting, Asia. Now, this can mean that you had a past lifetime in the Asian culture. I feel very much about peace and compassion and kind of Buddha energy. And so I feel like this is all for you in this month of May about staying in a place of balance, staying in a place of peace. There is this sense of the yellow with the willpower, but it's about silent willpower. It's not aggressive. It's very silent and peaceful, using your sense of confidence and willpower in a peaceful and confident way. And you might also, again, connect with that Buddha, you know, Asian kind of culture of energies and dynamics and spiritual beliefs. So I hope you've liked this monthly angel card reading. Remember to watch the weekly angel card readings. And I send you all lots of love and life. Thank you so much for your support. I'm just trying to hurry so we don't get cut off. But thank you for your support, your love, and for sharing and commenting. I love you all very much. Many blessings of love and light. Mwah. Namaste.